So this session will be held by myself and Emanuela Zaccone. Maybe we should introduce ourselves, just in case there is someone in the audience that don't know about us. My name is Marco Cardelli. I'm in HCL, product manager for workload automation products. And previously, I was the architect of the Mainframe solution and worked for a very long time in IBM on these products. And Emanuela, please introduce yourself.
Sure. I'm Emanuela Zaccone, work in the same team as Marco, so both of us are product manager for the workload automation solution. I joined HCL almost 1.5 years ago now, and I came from a pretty different world, but being in this role since 5 years now. Marco, over to you.
Okay, so today we are going to give you some updates on what we are doing on IBM Workload Automation products and what is coming in the near future. Okay, let me start introducing in general this session with what we are seeing as automation trends. You will see that we're talking more and more about automation tools rather than workload automation, or even less of a workload scheduler. And that's not just because we want to, change names and have fun with that, but it's because we are changing a little bit our value proposition according to what are the trends of the market and what all the automation tools are doing. So let me briefly talk about the three trends we see most in this period in the market and from the analysts. One of the most important trends is that there is a need in many organizations to avoid what is called islands of automation. And for this, I mean that in each organization, there are many different automation scenarios, perhaps even different automation domains that are important. And many customers, many organizations see the need to have a tool that helps them to orchestrate most of these domains in the same with one tool. And for this, I mean that, of course, there are tools that are specific for some particular automation scenarios, like data center automation or RPA, or some ERP applications. And so there is no tool that can actually implement all of these scenarios. But there are tools, and in particular, our tool is in this position, that are able to orchestrate many of these different domains. So one point is that having the possibility to avoid islands of automation could make your life easier, because you can orchestrate everything from a central point, have one single point of control on all your processes that you are trying to automate, having the same kind of rules, compliance, governance, and the same approach for monitoring and alerting and so on. So you can see which are the advantages of use one tool to orchestrate multiple domains of automation. The second point is that all the business processes are interconnected, and are interconnected with multiple different platforms, heterogeneous systems. So another strong point is to connect all of these applications. When I talk about this point, I think about all the different platforms that we can manage, from the mainframe to all distributed platforms to containerized applications, cloud environments, even iSeries, all different platforms that our tool can certainly connect. And then DevOps and continuous adoption is the other very important trend. And it's also a challenge, of course, for the management and the orchestration of all these processes and workflows that you can define and execute in containerized environment. And here, I'm thinking also to Kubernetes environment. And also in this area, we are doing a lot with our product, as you will see in our next slides. I showed this slide last year, and probably showed it, maybe showed it again in May. But this is, let's say, our visualization of these trends I was mentioning before. So workload automation, and in particular our tool in workload automation, can help you to connect all these different domains of automation. And now this is something you can do with our product, because in April we delivered the new marketplace for all the integrations that allow you to manage all these scenarios, to orchestrate all these scenarios in an easy way, just defining jobs and not having to code any script to do that. In April, we delivered the Automation Hub, the marketplace where we are delivering all our new integrations. And you'll see from Emanuela that this part is very important to our strategy. We delivered a lot of new integrations just in a few months, and we plan to have many more in the near future. So where are we with our latest deliveries? We delivered last year 9.5. Then we had a first fix pack in July 2019, and a new important fix pack this year in April. We will have a new one in December, fix pack 3, SP3 for the mainframe solution. This new delivery that we will describe in a few minutes has very important new feature. And it's going to be probably the last functional fix pack for 9.5, because then we will start working on a new release for the end of next year. So this is something that I will describe in a few minutes, talking about the roadmap. But let's recap a little bit. What are the main features that are available right now with 9.5, including the fix packs that we have already delivered? So some of these will be fully described by some more slides, so I will go fast on these points, like the cloud journey we are doing for our product within Kubernetes platform and so on will be described in a moment by Emanuela. And the same goes for the Automation Hub with the latest new integration. We have some enhancements ongoing for the mainframe solution. In particular, we already delivered a plugin to integrate our APIs, our REST APIs, into the Zoe command line. We are extending that to satisfy more requirements. I'm not sure if among you there are mainframe customers, so that are the engine installed on Z. I guess so. And I'm not sure if any of you is already exploiting Zoe, this open source platform that is fully supported by IBM for the customers, that gives you an easy access to the mainframe, an access for application developers and operators, command lines, and so on, all based on a let's say style that is very similar to any cloud application. So IZWS is integrated in this platform, and you can perform queries, actions, and so on through the Zoe command line to our product. So, other points are 9.5, very important, new dashboards, and we are continue to improving them, enhancing them, and you will see something is coming with Fixpack 3 for the new dashboards. The workflow folders, those were completed with Fixpack 2. Now we have all the scheduling objects available in the folders. So I hope that you start soon to exploit this new feature. It is very powerful, especially to allow you to, let's say, arrange your definition, organize them based on the concept of line of business. So with the possibility to base your security on folders and delegate security for sub-folders administrators, and so on. There are many features you can do with the workflow folders. Sorry, this morning my voice is really bad. In general, we believe that with all the features that we are giving to you, in particular, all the new integrations that are out of the box for us. So if you go to competitors, they mostly ask you to pay for extra features, and you are charged if you want to use a new integration or some other specific feature, while all our features are out of the box. So if you have are entitled to our licenses, you can use our integrations without any extra charge. This was a recap. Now I will pass to Emanuela for her part, and we'll come back for some roadmap slides in a little while.
Thank you, Marco. And yes, as Marco anticipated, the idea is now to give you an overview of what we are working on with some deep dives, starting from this one on cloud-related activities and containers-related activities. Actually, we answered some of your needs. When I say your, I mean that because I know that looking at the names, that some of you are interested in this topic. We covered. Go to the previous slide, Marco. We covered both the. Thank you. We covered several needs, so we know that you move at different pace, and of course you can be at different stages of your cloud strategy in your company. But the point is that we try to answer all of your needs, no matter at which stage you are. So, of course, some of you may just have, let's say, the most basic need in this area, which is reducing cost when managing IT infrastructure. So some of you might need, for example, SaaS solutions. That's something that we serve since years. But most of our customers, including some of you, are actually right now at the center of this schema you get in front of you. So you are in that phase in which all of your applications are moving to containers and microservices, and somehow you need to manage them. How do we answer this kind of need? Well, actually, we provide you with all the components of the solution deployable on containers. We give you RESTful jobs. We give you agents running on Kubernetes, Kubernetes-based jobs, and all the advantages that come along with this kind of opportunities. So cost reduction, quicker installations, quicker deployments, etc. Also, we also know that some of you have kind of different needs. You need, for example, to literally orchestrate all of your cloud automation processes. That's why, for example, on the Automation Hub, and I will deep dive on this too in a few minutes, we also give you the chance to download plugins such as AWS Lambda, Amazon SNS, SQS, Google Cloud related plugins, etc., etc. So all you might need to actually do the most out of your cloud infrastructure, or being able to orchestrate all of those flows from workload automation. Some of you are in a most advanced stage, actually. So you are in the lower part of this chart. You want full flexibility to have to control everything and to have all deployed on containers. We can do that. Actually, workload automation is also a Red Hat certified technology. We got the operator certified for OpenShift version starting from the 4.2 and beyond. We also have an operator, Helm operator, that will let you deploy workload automation images in an OpenShift environment. Or, for example, if you need it too, you can also deploy workload automation on an Amazon Kubernetes cluster, so on Amazon EKS. So you can also do that with all the advantages that come along. And I can anticipate you, speaking of the future of the product, that by next year you will also have available the deployment on Google JKE and Azure AKS. I know many of you are interested in Azure, so this is something that is coming somehow. And this is where we are with our cloud and container strategy. If we want, Marco and I'd ask you to go to the next chart. If we want to summarize what does this mean, it means that actually we want to let you automate anything. So being able to really have full control of all the flows, of all the automation activities you might need to manage, but being also able to run these workflows anywhere. So it doesn't matter which is the kind of solution you might prefer. It could be Amazon, it could be Azure, it could be Docker, it could be Kubernetes, OpenShift, it doesn't matter. Our answer to this kind of need was okay, we give you whatever you need, wherever you need that. So we are, in that sense, we try to serve all of your need. And if I can also do a sort of call to action, if you want to talk further about this topic, have a one-to-one meeting, etc., just drop us a line, because we are now in the process of better understand which are your needs and how we can help you with that. And this is just one part of the strategic topics we are working on. As Mark anticipated before, there is another one which we started working since March, and that is the Automation Hub. Marco, can you go to the next chart? Sorry. The Automation Hub, which was launched back in March, is a marketplace. So it's an online catalog of all of our plugins and integrations. I mean, I'm talking to customers, so you know that plugins are not something new for workload automation. You've always had plugins, but so far you had them as part of the product. They were embedded in the core product. So when you installed workload automation, you also had the plugins coming along with that. But the downside of this was that actually, let's figure out that you are interested in the plugin X, and that the plugin X was available starting the version 9 point something. What you had to do was upgrade to that version to be able to use that plugin. Making the plugins independent from the core product and from the releases meant being able for you to have them available anytime. So you don't need nor to upgrade to the latest version of the product or to the version including the plugin you want to use. And you don't need also to do something, upgrade, but you're not sure that it's going to work. And what if you need an upgraded version of that same plugin, etc., etc. We wanted to simplify this process. So right now you can just go to yourautomationapp.io, search for the plugin you're interested into, log in with your fixed central credentials, and just download the zip file and have it into your product in a few minutes. So we wanted to really simplify this process. And one thing I want to add on this is that plugins are not just for distributed clients, are also for mainframe clients. So if you got dynamic agents, you can absolutely use all of the plugins available on the Automation Hub. The kind of items you will find are different. You will find job types mainly, but soon you will also find different kind of items. So for example, report templates, you will find event actions, you will find playbooks, etc., etc. So the idea is to make the marketplace even richer as time goes by. Two more things. First, this allowed us to move to a sort of continuous delivery approach, which means that if you visit the Automation Hub, let's say every month, you will find new plugins, because we are releasing plugins almost at a on a monthly basis. Second thing is that you can actually contribute to the Automation Hub. Along with the launch of the Automation Hub, indeed, it came also a new development kit, which is called Lutis, and you can find that on the website too. It's a modern-based development kit. You can just download it, develop your own integration, whatever it is, and publish it on the Automation Hub. So you can also submit it to be part of our online catalog. Indeed, if you browse the Automation Hub, you will see that you can find plugins developed by us. And when I say us, I mean, of course, IBM or HCL, and also developed by business partners. So just to give you an idea of what this means, that everybody can actually contribute to it. Because the idea is, if someone has something to do to automate more and better, we want to give you the chance to do that. So consider, please, the Automation Hub, yes, as a catalog, but also as your reference and home for whatever you want to develop and add to contribute to this approach. And Marco, moving to the next slide, because I want to give you an overview of what this means. When I say automate more and better, I mean doing more than just batch scheduling. So using these plugins to automate in different domains. Do you remember the chart with the balls that Marco showed you before? The idea is exactly to give you the tools to automate in those adjacent areas. So for example, concretely speaking, what does that mean? That you can use workload automation plus the SAP or Oracle plugins to automate in the ERP process orchestration area. You can use the cloud-related plugins to do cloud automation. You can orchestrate your file transfer processes with managed file transfer plugins. You can, for example, do more in the data center automation domain with Chef, Ansible, udeploy plugins. And keep in control while you do that, always from workload automation. So long story short, what we are enabling here is for you to build end-to-end scenarios, end-to-end flows, where you can literally manage, control, and keep governance on processes that include not just batch scheduling, but trying to control, define, and model all of your automation needs. And so far, you can find more or less 65 more plugins on the Automation Hub. So I'm quite sure that there will be something that you might be interested into. And as you can see, and as I anticipated, you can also find a free development kit. My invitation here is exactly the same one I made for the cloud and containers topic. If there are some plugins you might be interested into, if you have any doubt of how do I actually set up this process, how do I create this flow where I use the plugins and I control them and call them from workload automation, how do I optimize this kind of scenario, just drop us a line and we will be more than happy to give you a demo or to help you literally set up this process. Speaking on which, there is actually one other domain we are working on, and this is the most recent one in which we release plugins, and that is the RPA area. So we just released plugins for Automation Anywhere and Blue Prism. I don't know if you use any of them, or someone in your company is actually working with robotic process automation. In the future, I don't want to spoiler the roadmap, but you will also find plugins for UiPath and WVG, which was recently acquired by IBM. Just to give you an example of what do we mean when we say it's relevant to expand to new domains and automate in that area. RPA is a fantastic example because we know what the RPA is great about. I mean, with RPA, you can literally automate all those time-consuming, rule-based tasks that are generally very well defined. So something that you know what it is, you know what it does, and it's very repetitive. That's fine. It may sound similar to workload automation and to what we do, but it's kind of different because we actually coordinate workloads across the enterprise. So we put together business and IT needs. Why the two things together are great, and why, for example, we decided to open up to this area too, because actually we can enable and we can manage as workload automation also complex workflows in which RPA is just one part of the central flow. Of course, we can centralize the monitoring of bot execution, so we know where everything is compared to the general plan and how it might affect the general plan. So we keep you full governance on the process with centralized auditing, regulatory compliance, and all we are really used to and great about. And of course, you can also apply predictive service level agreements management and analytics also for RPA job types. So we are literally applying all the advantages of workload automation to this domain too. This is just an example, but we know that you might heard increasingly speaking about RPA and how that is different from workload automation. And this is also an example of what do we mean when we say, okay, automate also this domain by using workload automation. So using the product as literally an orchestrator. Now, this was just a sort of overview of these new areas, relatively new areas we are working on, and just also to give you an update on where we are right now. I think we are keeping the questions for the end, so I'll leave again the word to you, Marco.
Okay, so sorry. I'm going to show you in quickly some preview about features that will be part of the December delivery as a fixed pack 3 on top of 9.5 and SPE3. So let's see. The first slide is about the enhancements that will be available for the UI. So I believe a new important and interesting feature is going to be the alerts for the dashboard. So that this is coming from a cooperation between the development team and customers, because during the transparent development process, review of the design and so on, some time ago on the new about the new dashboards, of course, we received the requirement to create alerts on the widgets And because operators that are using the dashboard to monitor the whole picture, all the workloads, everything that they need for our product, wanted to be alerted if something has changed, if a value has changed, and not necessarily, lose track of that just because they were distracted for a moment. So now this will be part of this delivery in December. We will have alerts on widgets, KPIs, defined either on a value change, so if there is an increase of the KPI or a decrease or anything, or in case you can also define a threshold on this. So that can be very important for the usability of the dashboard. Then we are going to deliver custom roles, so the possibility to have a customized user interface for each role that you want to define. So I know that maybe some of you were waiting for this because we had something in this area in 9.4 and it was not yet available in 9.5 UI. Then the possibility to have the launching context. So you can use direct links to UI pages and share them with other users or send them through emails or something like that. You can define, now will be available the launching context. We will support XML for REST data source for providing data source for the dashboards, of course. And moreover, we'll allow the import-export of the dashboards so that you can share customized dashboards among different users. So these are the new enhancements coming in December for the UI part. Another very important enhancement, I believe that many customers are excited about what we are doing for the file transfer operations. First step will be in December because we are going to deliver some new enhancements on the file transfer plugin that allow us to basically perform managed file transfer operations on using the file transfer plugin. I'm not sure if you know this plugin, but this is a plugin that basically supports FTP, SSH, some other protocols, and basically a bunch of different secure FTP flavors. Now, this plugin is already available, but the version that we will deliver in December has some new important features, both functional and also from a monitoring point of view, an advanced monitoring point of view. So we, especially for 9.5 customers, this won't be available for 9.4 because the plugin enhanced will be available both for 9.5 and 9.4, but some enhancements will work only for 9.5 since require an update of the user interface. And in particular, I'm talking about the integrated dashboards for file transfer operation. That will be available only for 9.5. But instead, the advanced monitoring view, that will be available also on 9.4. For this, I mean that when you select a file transfer job, you can get detailed information about the file transfer activities. So first of all, we will support with this plugin the possibility to define multiple parallel file transfer in the same job. So when you display the file transfer job monitoring part, you will see, for example, how many bytes have been transferred, which has been until now the transfer rate, when it is supposed to be completed. So you will see a lot of different information for each file transfer activity. Moreover, you will be able to restart each of these file transfer activity separately, and also to restart a file transfer from the point of failure. So if there is a failure in your process, you don't have to restart it from the beginning, but you can just restart from the point of failure. You will have plugins to encrypt the files at rest. Obviously, while they are in motion, they are always encrypted because we use SSH protocol. And there will be available also some post-processing actions. So you will be able to delete, rename, or move the files after the transfer. This will be available for distributed customers, Z customers, and even for the SaaS solution. I believe this is our first steps to provide managed file transfer functionality into the product. You will see that we have more in plan for next release. Now let me give you just a few elements that are specific for the mainframe solution. There will be a new critical successor view from the dynamic workflow console, and also available through REST API to get the critical successors of a job. A global parameter and a global option to ignore the operation input arrival time for dependency resolution, or to ignore it only if it is not, the operation is not time dependent. The possibility to keep the job submit status, so that functionality that you can change through the service function panel. So you can disable the submission, the job submission, or disable it only for end-to-end or only for the Z part. Now the announcement is that if you stop the controller with a specific value set at that time, you can decide to stay as you will get the same value when you restart the controller, basically. So not just restarting from the default value, but from the value that was there when you stopped the controller. And moreover, an announcement for the recently delivered function to send email, that we are including alerts for critical jobs in the list of triggers for sending an email automatically from the controller. Now, let me talk about the roadmap. First of all, in this slide, I'm mentioning three concepts that will be very important for the future of our product, for probably the whole decade of we have just started. Cloud native. As you have seen from Emanuela, we are in our cloud journey for support of our product. And in the long-term strategy, maybe a couple of years from now, you will have also a cloud native solution to manage that. We are including in our next release some new features that will be powered by AI and machine learning. So intelligent refers to our new features that will come with AI powered. User-centered is about the effort we always put into enhancing our user interface. And you will see that we have more in plan for next release. This is our current timeline. We delivered the 9.5 FixPack 2 in April. We are going to deliver FixPack 3 and SPE 3 in December. And then we plan to have a new version of the product. Probably we'll switch from 9 version to version 10. So A new important release for this product will be probably will arrive at the end of the third quarter or possibly at the beginning of the fourth. So we don't have a date decided yet, but it's coming between probably September or October timeframe. Version 10, don't be scared by the change of version. That does not imply anything from the license point of view, so you can always upgrade from 9.5 to 10 version without any extra charge. The topics, the main topics for next release, probably this will be part of our next meeting in 2021. We will describe you in details the features that will be part of this version 10. But as I mentioned, AI augmented automation, so new scenarios supported by AI and machine learning, native managed file transfer, and this is the second step for our managed file transfer feature into the product. So we will support what I just showed you for the FTP file transfer plugin will be also available with the file transfer executed through our agents. Moreover, we plan to renew the experience of the modeling part of the product. So we want to make it more consistent, unified with a consistent approach. And this is something we are already started working on, and you will see probably some calls from development team because we want your feedback. We want to work with you on this so that at the end you will have the modeling part exactly in the best way and as you want it to be. Some details about AI. So here I'm mentioning some features that are already available, and these scenarios that we want to implement in the future releases. Not all of them will come with our next release, but just to give you an idea, we don't want to become competitor of AI ops tools that are an important trend right now in this market, but because those tools are general purpose, so they have let's say can manage many different areas, many different IT areas. We want to just deliver scenarios AI powered that are related to workload automation, so to our specific product, and use the knowledge that we can accumulate on the workload that is executed to help you to make your life easier when you work with the product. In particular, we're talking about noise reduction, for example, so the possibility to reduce false alarms, to prioritize the issues you get for your workload, and create patterns and clusters so that on historical data. Anomaly detection is probably the first one you will get with Workload Automation version 10, and is assuming we keep track of the history of your workload execution, we can be able to let's say detect an anomaly during the execution of your daily workload based on history and inform you in advance if there is any anomaly compared to the usual. So that means alerts, means the possibility to be informed in advance that there is something not usual going on during the execution of the workload. And at that point, you can be alerted and verify if that is something that you expect, or if there is any potential problem that we can catch in advance. Other possible features for the future the possibility to use AI to perform a root cause analysis for your workload issues and suggest recovery action based on the history, as well as some help when you model your workload, perhaps suggesting fields that you normally use, or proposing features that may help you with that specific definitions and best practices. So this is what we want to add to the product, powered by AI and machine learning, and this is something that will start with our next release. Now, a few words from Emanuela on the plugin roadmap that is, as she mentioned,
Yes.
in continuous delivery.
Yeah, this is an overview of what happened this year. So for those of you who weren't aware or who just at some point heard about the Automation Hub, this is what we released this year. So quarter by quarter, summarizing what you have and what you will have by the end of the year. So as I anticipated, we released the Automation Hub in March. It came along with a new development kit and a bunch of plugins, new plugins, along with the existing one, which were related especially to the data center automation domain. So Urban Code Deploy, Ansible, Chef, and Kubernetes. The second quarter was dedicated to ERP process orchestration with the SAP Access plugin, and also some plugins in the cloud automation area, such as Oracle Cloud and AWS. In this quarter, in the previous quarter, the third quarter, we further investigated this cloud automation and serverless processes. So we released plugins for Google Cloud and AWS Lambda. And we also released plugin in the RPA orchestration area with Blue Prism and Automation Anywhere. And we are now in the phase of delivering our plugins for orchestrating file transfer processes. So you will have the Sterling Connect Direct plugin, an enhanced one. You already had one, but this will have some enhancement. You will have the Oracle Business plugin if you want to orchestrate more in the ERP process orchestration area. And also, again, related to the cloud automation domain, you will have the Azure Resource Management new plugin. This is what happened and what is going to happen in this last part of the year. Just to give you a quick overview of what is going to happen in 2021. Of course, consider this as a work in progress, especially for the second half of the year. We will start by doing more in the cloud automation area. So we will keep releasing in Q1 2021 with Azure Data Lake, Google Cloud Data Flow. We will also give you more in the managed file transfer area with X-Way, Azure Data Lake Storage, and Google Cloud Storage. We will also in Q2 add Google Cloud Function. We will add WDG and UiPath, which I anticipated before. Again, in the managed file transfer domain, you will have the Sterling File Gateway and Sterling Connect enhancement. And we will also release a RESTful plugin. Second half, which is still under definition, but just to give you an overview of our plan, so that they might be subject to changes. But the areas basically are the same you saw so far. So again, cloud with the plugins for Terraform, VMware, Windows Hyper-V. Managed file transfer with NQMFT, Aspera, AWS S3, Box, and SnapLogic. We will do more in the RP process orchestration area. So we want to add actually more on the Oracle side. And we want to do also something else, especially with proxy implementation and more. As I said, these may be subject to change, especially for the second part of 2021. But it's just to show you what we are working on, and give you an idea of what you will see in the upcoming months. If you have specific requests or something that you might want to see among the plugins, something that you think is useful but is not there, again, let us know, because we are literally defining now this part of the roadmap. So we definitely want to hear from you. And remember that most of these plugins before release will be presented during transparent development sessions. So be sure to also attend them. Marco?
Yes, I believe that this was our last slide. I think we can try to answer a few questions. I've seen a few in the chat. I started answering on the chat, but perhaps we can say these questions and answer directly, speaking. Okay, so let me restart from the first question. Was from Dean Watson. He asked if file transfer between agents, or you can deliver files to unknown agent server. Now, first of all, what we deliver in December is just with the file transfer plugin, so not yet with agents. When we deliver in our next release in version 10, we will have also agents performing the file transfer. But of course, you will always be able to use the file transfer plugin to transfer files from or to a node where you don't have the agent. So you can combine the two solutions to move also file outside of your workload automation network. Second question was from Nigel about out of support of 9.5.4. We have not announced anything yet. Probably when we will deliver version 10, we may decide to announce the out of support for 9.5, but that will mean that it's going to be at least 1 year from when version 10 is out, maybe more. So you will probably have support until 2022 with no problems. Anyway, we always announce it a year before. Another question.
One, John Bradley. In AWS, let me read this for all the audience. In AWS, there is an expectation that we use IAM roles wherever possible because they are native, and also you pay for secrets. Are there any plans for AWS to use IAM as a method of authentication?
Well, I guess we don't have yet plans, but it's something that we can consider.
Yes.
So maybe Franco is, yeah.
Yes, John, I think that should be already possible. So that's something that we can try together, because IAM should implement OpenID Connect. So we should support that. It's just about to eventually tune the Helm charts in order to be able to do that. But that's something that we can already try to do now.
Yeah.
So it's something that we have not already tried, but it's possible to try and certify it, let's say.
Yeah, we can be back to you. We can investigate and be back to you.
Any other question before we close the session? Okay, I don't see any other questions. So, probably
I have a question for you, Marco.
Oh, go with that.
I have a question. So in version 10, will there be any major architectural changes? So we saw at 9.5 we moved to Liberty, but are we going to stay on Liberty, or are we moving to something else in version 10?
We are going to stay on Liberty. I don't see big changes from the infrastructure point of view in version 10.
So anyone going to 9.5 now will see a supported upgrade path to 10.
Yes.
Fantastic. Okay, and I think there's
Okay.
There is
another
another
question
question
from Nigel.
Yeah. Will that be a direct upgrade? We have not planned it yet, but I believe it could be a direct upgrade. Franco, do you think that we will?
From 9.4 to version 10? No, that will be like from 9.4 to 9.5.
No, from 9.5. I believe the question was about 9.5.
9.5 to version 10. No, the question is related to the previous one. That is if Nigel is at
9.4 656. So
yeah, in another question, he was mentioning they are planning to go to 9.5. That's why I thought that probably maybe the question was about both. So there will not be a direct upgrade from 9.4 to version 10, but there will be a direct upgrade from 9.5 to version 10.
Yeah, 9.5 to version 10 will be just like installing a fixpack, so very quick update as we are doing with version with all the 9.5 fixpacks. From 9.4, you can even install. It's a parallel upgrade using the same database, so it's quite easy. It's just about installing a new backup master and then performing the switch manager. And you can do that installing 9.5 on the same machine where 9.4 is running, or version 10 it would be the same. So there is no service interruption.
Okay. Okay, Prabal, I think we don't have any further question. Back to you.
Okay. Thank you, Marco. Thank you.